Hey guys, welcome back to Whoscussion. Again, I apologise for sort of how much of a downturn Part A is, but we spruced it up. We talked about Denny's.
We shouldn't have to apologise.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Torchwood.
We were pretty upbeat.
We tried our hardest to make it.
We tried pretty hard. So we're in the last story in season 3 of Dark Eyes. We're pretty close to finishing up Dark Eyes in its entirety. So because we're finally past the point I've listened. Well, actually, no, we got past that before God rest his soul. So I'm really looking forward to where we go next. Doom Coalition. I've not heard any of it, so I'm looking forward to that. But we're at the end of the season 3 of Dark Eyes. And we've got for our last story the Fayers of Vulcan with Sylvester McCoy. Rule of the Eminence. Harriet Skelly, take us away.
Okay. So, Dr. and Marvin are hanging out. They're having a good time. Well, not really. Yeah. They're kind of having a good time, but not really at the same time. Anyway, they've come forward in time to try and track down what's going on with the Master, the Eminence, Liv, and Molly. Track them down. At least they think they've tracked them down. They've been tracking Liv's biodata sort of deal going on. Into the future when the human race has finally defeated the Eminence, at least for the first time. And the Earth Alliance is setting up a cast. They're all like, we've defeated the Eminence, Earth's open, it's all good now, guys. So good old Dr. and Alvin go down and take a look. Turns out that they've been using the air cleaners that have been cleaning out Eminence particles to instead sort of add a kind of altered Eminence particle into the entire human atmosphere. So that's nice. But they're just like, okay, we just need to stop the Master and we'll be all good. So the Doctor thinks that the Master is in the guise of the new ruler of the human empire, obviously, because that's the kind of ego the Master has, really. So he's like, I'll just go see him. Narvin, you go see Liv and get her out. So they go their separate ways. As it turns out, it's not the Master who is the leader of Earth, but he's actually a psychic construct of Molly's dad and the Master combined. That's weird. We'll get to that in a second. So the Doctor's like, oh shit, I actually need to go because if you're not the Master, then the Master's where Liv is. Narvin's going to get himself rigged up. Narvin totally gets himself rigged up because he's not paying attention, basically. Gets himself inhabited by the Eminence, and he's going to be out of commission for a little while. Meanwhile, the Doctor's trying to get to where the Master is, and Liv and Molly and Narvin and Eminence. Just everybody's there. He's trying to get there, and then there's the broadcast from the leader of the human empire now. And because of his psychic connection, because he's a psychic creation of Molly and the Master, he's actually the tuning fork for controlling all the Eminence particles and now inside all human beings. So the Master now controls the entire human race, basically, except for Molly and Liv. Yeah.
Which is great because that's like the John Sim Master's plan in End of Time is to take over mankind.
It is. So it's good old Big Finish, fixing everything up. So they go ahead and the Master goes ahead and tells the pilot of the ship that the Doctor's on to blow it up, basically. But luckily, the Doctor's managed to got some power rubbed off on him, so he's able to try and get her to resist effectively. She resists for a little bit, but then the Eminence shows up and takes over anyway and blows the ship up. Luckily, the Doctor gets out in an escape pod because he's the Doctor. He's just what he does. So I'm not sure. There definitely seems like there was some time pass after this, because the Doctor apparently hides out in a cave, and, builds a hovercraft and stuff, which is interesting. And obviously he's been using his slight ability to free people, to use that to get past people and get the things that he needs to build this. He uses the hovercraft to go to the place where Liv and Molly are, which is like a tropical island-esque thing, and manages to
I am so glad we had the same thought. I was thinking tropical island, palm trees, when they went to the island. I was thinking Bond villain lair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That absolutely is. Because it's like Singapore area.
Brunei.
Near there. So it is in the tropics. So if it's an island nearby, it's probably a tropical island.
Yeah.
Anyway, they go there, and he gets Liv, brings her back, isn't able to save Molly because she's being controlled by her psychic projection somehow. It's some really creepy stuff. You just need to listen to it. If you haven't already, then you need to do it right now. Anyway, takes Liv, gives her the hovercraft. It's like, hey, go get my TARDIS and go take over the what's it called now? The broadcasts people in Byzantium, and we'll be all good. And she's like,
is this the Byzantium that river crashes?
No, not the ship. The location.
Yeah,
the actual city,
Right, I see.
which is later. So it was originally called Byzantium, and it was called Constantinople, and it was called a bunch of other things, and then now in the future they've recalled it Byzantium.
All right, so the Byzantine Empire. Right, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
So probably Byzantine is probably a better name for it rather than Byzantium, but you know, Doctor Who. Anyway, she goes there to get to the broadcast center of the entire human empire, and the Doctor makes a deal with the Imminence. Spooky stuff. He basically is like, hey, you can come in and we'll sort this out because the Master's going to betray you. Imminence is like, yeah, I can see that happen. We'll go do this.
It cracks me up that a like sentient cloud of gas could see it happening, but neither in the CIA was like, let's revive the Master. Everybody's like, that's a great idea.
He doesn't necessarily actually like see it happening. He's getting kind of so the Imminence is getting annoyed that the Master's not letting him like straight up control everything. Right? And the Doctor's like, hey, look in my mind, you'll see that the Master's actually kind of a dick. And the Imminence is like, yeah, I can totally see that. All right, I'm gonna let you go along with your plan so long as you like let me control you and let me take over everything. And the Doctor's like, yeah, totally, I'll totally do that. It'll be great. So they go to the Master's place. Is like, hey Molly, it's me, the Doctor. And she's just like, I've got adrenaline now. That's going to ruin your psychic link with this guy. And he's like, oh no, I am ruined. And while that's happening, the Master is now incapable of doing some serious control stuff. So the Imminence is going to start taking over. So he's like, the Doctor's like, hey, Imminence getting me now. And Imminence is like, yep, totally, we're inside. And the Doctor's like, hey Molly, shoot me. And she's like, sorry, what? And then the Master's like, oh, he thinks that if he kills the Imminence is inside of him, then it's gonna destroy the Imminence. And the Imminence is like, oh no, I've been betrayed. And like the Doctor's like, of course you've been betrayed. Do you really think I'm gonna do that? Anyway, Molly's like, I'm totally not gonna shoot you. And the Doctor's like, well, yeah, of course, but I'm really glad that my faith in you was not misplaced.
Yeah, I'm super ultra. We're becoming Chris X
because I really don't want to turn into either John Hurt or that bald guy yet. So we'll get there. Anyway, basically my plan was actually, now that you're all hyper fucking whatchamacallit, you're all adrenalined up now, and you've got all your memories back. You can use your retrogenitor particles to completely destroy the Imminence with your dad Master psychic thing here, and he turns into a big ball of gas, and then disperses the entire Master army and all of the Imminent stuff, and saves the world. And then the Master leaves in a kitchen cabinet. Yeah, and that's it. Woo!
That disappearing, Doctor. Yes,
but of course, the Master gets away because they don't keep an eye on him. Marvin saved from his Imminent stuff and takes Molly back to her own time because he's not allowed to see her anymore, just in case people get wind of her retrogenitor particles. And now lives with him. And it's all good. We're all good.
Yeah, she's like, man, this could have been our journey this whole season. He's like, could have been, but you got kidnapped and stuff, so...
Yeah, also you're cured now because of retrogenitor particles. And she's like, how does that work? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Like the Master was like, I cured you, but didn't tell you for the lols. And she's like, really? And he's like, yes.
Yeah, I love how he's using his psychic influence on her to make her think that her sickness is getting worse and that she'll die because she believes that she's sick. And he even says like, man, I really wish I could like convince someone that they're dead. Like, it's like, wow, that would actually be an amazing thing for him to do. Like, I'm the Master, you will obey me. You're dead now.
I can imagine the Jacoby Master doing it. That'd be scary.
Exactly.
That'd be actually, you wouldn't be able to put that on TV. Scary.
Yeah,
like top 10.
You believe that you're dead.
Yeah. Watch Mojo's top 10 banned episodes of animated Who. The episode with the Jacoby Master. God, someone did kill himself. You are dead now.
No. Not just like killed themselves. Just like they just fall down dead.
Yeah, they just believed they were dead. Obey me.
But there's the thing that it would become like this the greatest meme of all time, because all those people who just die for no reason, you could just like have like a cut where it's Jacoby going, I'm the Master, you did now. Like looking at Padme, like her sadness. No, it's me, the Master.
The mother is dying, and then you just have Jacoby in the background of Obi-Wan Kenobi smiling. That'd be awesome. That'd be the greatest meme ever. But it also
just a slow look at the camera.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Right. Wow.
So yeah, that's that was the rule of the Imminence. It was short-lived, but it was fun.
It was short-lived, chinkered. Yeah. The White Crow.
I love the story. I've loved this whole season, but the story was so good. Such a good wrap-up. Not even only to Dark Eyes, but to just Molly's run as well. I got emotional saying goodbye to Molly. It was an emotional time. It was bittersweet. It was
Little
bittersweet.
Molly
Time.
Darko.
I'm going to miss Molly. Yes. Of how the kind of whole connection between what's his face, Walter Vincent fella, and Molly was. There's a split second you hear his voice. You're like, he's got an Irish accent.
Yeah.
Who else has an Irish accent? Molly.
Molly's
That's going to come into things surely, and it did. Because Big Finish, they don't do nothing without an intention, and it's great.
The Master's replicant tech is way better than the Daleks.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not like he's not like a full-on replica. He is a psychic projection, effectively.
Yeah, I like how Eight's like, what the hell even is he?
He's like a watcher. He's like the Master's watcher that's been infected with retrogenitor particles, basically.
Yeah.
I did
He's
just
the
want to bring up.
Master and Molly's baby.
Keep.
Wow, that
Something you said earlier, not directly linking to the story, but you're saying how the Eminence can totally pluck out the Masters not to be trusted, but Narvin and the CIA are like, totally, let's bring that the Master. I'll just throw this here. Narvin was pretty skeptical about the whole idea, to be honest. CIA, they were totally on board, but I'll let you get there.
Oh, I see. Narvin is... Wait, hang on. Does season 8 tell me why they bring back the Master?
No, it's season 9.
Oh, is McQueen in season 9 as well as Jacoby?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, that would have been hype. And
It would have, but
comes to the Matrix and he's like, oh, look at me now, Queen Master.
No, but Narvin was pretty sort of. Although that being said, he's like that about a lot of things. He's like, that's a good idea. I'm pretty sure that's not a good idea. But then no one listens to him, and then he's just frustrated. He's like, I have to fix your problems now. That's Narvin's life, and I feel sorry for him. Sorry, but I do love. Back to Rule of the Eminence. I love that Georgia Moffat just casually is in here as well.
Yeah,
Just
she gets ultra killed too. Like what?
yeah. Oh, just casually because Big Finish is like, let's take. You're cool, and knew who didn't treat you well, so we'll treat you well. It's fine. It's fine. When I say treat you well, we're going to kill you spectacularly, but we'll still treat you. Yeah, the story was a good time. I love it to pieces. It was beautiful. I do love that the Master's TARDIS was a palm tree in this. It was
that palm tree over there disappearing.
The Master.
So, Harry Skelly.
Yeah, basically, it is a really just a really fun time of an episode. Like it doesn't really skip a beat in any sense of the word. It doesn't pull, like, you don't really need to know what's going on otherwise. You just need to know that these are companions of the Masters here and what the Eminence does. That's all you really need to know. There's no, like, it's not like the second part of a full, it's not like the actual final part sort of deal where everything's leading up to this sort of deal. Like they pull you in properly for this and then go through the motions and then actually finish the episode properly with all the evidence of the previous. They use the entire length of the episode to actually flesh out the end of it as well. They don't rely on anything else to complete it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't it's Big Wolf is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
None of that crap.
None whatsoever. Yeah, I agree with what's being said. It's really, really good. I think it's a great end for season 3. It's a bit sad that this is like Molly's last hurrah. It's chiefly because Ruth, the actress Ruth, playing Molly, was actually super busy, which is why she was like incapacitated or asleep for a lot of this, is because unfortunately she was working in America, yeah, so her career was skyrocketing. So they really couldn't really do anything to keep her on. But I think they used her quite well. And I mean, Molly Darkeyes was driving the plot the whole time without having to be present. And that's hard to do. I can't remember the actual writing term, and Blake Crow might be able to help me out here. There's a writing term for a character you don't see but is influential to the plot. I can't remember what the hell that's called. I've seen a few plays that play that out, but there's a character writing where you don't really meet the character, or the character could even not even be in the story, but they're very integral to the plot. I suppose it's a bit like Rosebud in a way that you don't really ever see Rosebud except for at the end, and they drove the plot along, was discovering what Rosebud was. Rosebud rather. So I think, again, what Harry Scott was saying, where you don't really have to have gone through the whole of Dark Eyes to get what this is all about. It's the Doctor fighting the Master. I mean, if you got any understanding of Doctor Who, even the smallest amount, the Master fights the Doctor. It's just what happens. Yep. McQueen is fantastic. He intrigues me in that he doesn't have the like laugh. His laugh is real like subdued, and like he's like just such a goofy Master, and I like that because like the McGann Doctor at the moment is like struggling with trying to keep his head above water, really. And just having like a goofball master, I think is kind of great for him, because like even though the master's back and the master's a pain in his ass, it's not like a Delgado or an Ainley master where it's a threat, like a threat that actually could topple the Doctor. So it's good that it's this guy's like thinking too big for his britches. And like, there's an episode where he wears a cowboy hat because he wants to be a cowboy in the desert world. Like, what? So I think this is a fantastic box set. All of Dark Eyes can be picked up for $20 New Zealand dollars. All 4 seasons. So I thoroughly suggest it. I mean, that's pretty much nothing to the greater scope of the global economy. I'm looking forward to season 4. How that's going to really handle not having Molly in it is going to be interesting. But this was a bittersweet end. With that, we're going to jump into our last story today, which is The Fires of Vulcan. And if I'm not mistaken, this is Mel's first story in Big Finish.
Yeah.
So, The Fires of Vulcan. Take us away, the Late Crow.
Okay, so we start off, so not quite present day, but kind of close. It's a sort of 20th century, and there's an excavation going on in Pompeii. Some people are looking about it, and general gist is they're a bit confused because there's a police box under all this rubble, and it's kind of looks like it had been there for 2,000 years. So that's a bit confusing. And then a unit person shows up, like, we've got this now, and just totally ruins the excavator's dad. So, I thought I was onto something, and unit's here now. Okay, and then so. We have the theme tune, lovely, and then we've got Doctor and Mel. Then they drop into Pompeii casually and blow a slave's mind, just appearing out of nowhere. So it's okay. We're messages from the gods, and that's fine. And I love how the Doctor says that. He gives that excuse, and every time Mel tries it, Doctor tells her off. She's like, "No, you can't use that excuse. Only I get to say it."
Only I do.
So yeah, that's fine. So the slave is he's a slave to what's her face. The main sort of villainous lady, what's her name? Valeria? Was that her? Not Valeria.
No,
the other one.
No, what the hell was her name? Amancia. Amacia?
Oh, was that Amacia? Was that her?
I believe that was her
that
name.
Lady.
Yeah, that lady. The bad lady from the story.
The priestess.
Yeah, the priestess.
The priestess, we'll go with that. The priestess, that's simpler. And so the Doctor's like, don't tell anyone. And so he goes back, and the priestess is like, why are you late? I'm mean to you, and that's my character relationship with you. Why are you late? So I don't want to tell you. I promised the gods. You promised the gods what? I saw the gods. I saw the gods. And that, interesting. I'm going to keep tabs on this situation, which he does. So the Doctor and Mel are chilling about, and then working out where they are. Then the Doctor realizes where they are. They're all sort of, and then the Doctor gets all moody and he does a typical Seven, where he figures it where he is and doesn't tell anyone, and that's Seven in a nutshell, really. Just I've figured everything out, but I won't tell you till it's important.
And I feel like this is Big Finish trying to fill in that sort of drastic change Seven has.
Yeah.
Between season 24 and 25.
Yeah.
Because there's that line that Mel has.
Yeah, he becomes a badass.
Because Mel's all like, he's being moody. It's not like him. It's like, whoa, you haven't seen nothing yet.
Wait until Dragonfire, Mel. This way.
So yeah, and so they're flitting about, and Mel's trying to be like, "What? Why are you being moody?" And the Doctor's, "I'm being moody. Let's keep exploring." They keep exploring, and then so there's this fella following Mel. This fella Torvald. No, Celsinus.
Yeah, Papitius. Yeah.
Sorry, Gallifrey jokes. Sorry, because it's the same voice actor. And he's totally digging Mel because which comes up because they realise. And I love how Mel calls them out for it. They're not wearing right clothing here. And the Doctor's like, Mel, go with this lady and get some proper clothing. She's all like, and question mark vest, totally the fashion, are they? Shut up, it's fine. Just go and get your clothes.
I don't know if you know this, but history's superbly sexist. You need to go do this, Mel. I'm sorry.
Yes. So they're having a good time. So Mel goes off with Agley and has a good time with her. Meanwhile, the Doctor's found himself in a sort of in a bar. And picks a fight with Valius Moranis. And
when I heard his voice, I was like, "That's bloody Valius!"
Yeah, actually. So Moranis is a gladiator, well, a shamed gladiator, and totally gets his feathers ruffled when the Doctor beats him by cheating, even though he was cheating as well. And the Doctor's all like, "Yeah, he's just a bit of sleight of hand there, but it's not cheating if you don't get caught." And that line comes up again later, which is awesome because Big Finish know how to write close endings. It's awesome. So that's all very well and good. So the Doctor's pissed off Moranis, and that's not good. Later, so back to Mel and Agley. So Mel's kind of figured out, right, we're in Pompeii, and Vesuvius is about to erupt. I should probably warn people. And Doc's like, no, you probably shouldn't warn people. So I want to, though. It's basically sort of, it's Fires of Pompeii, but good.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, very well and good. Priestess ladies kind of not buying the whole Messages of God thing, and so kind of ropes in Popitius, Celsinus, and just like, all right, let's figure out what's going on with these guys. I don't like them. And so they invite them around to dinner. They have a conversation, and that's not good because the doctor's on to, they've figured us out. It's not what I wanted. And Mel's like, can you tell us what's going on for once, Doctor? Like, fine. Okay, so I've had information that my TARDIS is buried under Vesuvius ash and stuff, and that's not good because I've seen my own future and it needs to happen now. And I was like, no, I'm not buying that. Anything else could happen. I'm going to keep trying to find the TARDIS. And so where is the TARDIS? And then they find out that, because obviously Vesuvius is about to erupt, so you get the occasional tremor. And so they find out that the place where they parked the TARDIS was buried. So it's, that's not good. And so Mel's like, I'm going to try and persuade that Popitius Celsinus to actually help me with this, because he's totally into me, because he thought I was a brothel lady. I'm not, but it's fine.
Yes, he did.
And it did not help that I ran away from him into a brothel, just helping. It's great. It's fun. So she's adamant to get out of there. Doctor's just trying to, he's doing his moody thing, trying to do his doctory planning stuff. It's not going too well. He tries to he basically has a sort of melancholic moment in the bar again, and Moranis comes back. He's like, Doctor, I'm going to challenge you to a fight now. And the he's none too happy about that, because Moranis' deal is that because he was shamed as a gladiator, his life has no meaning without his gladiator. So he needs to best the man who best him again. That's his whole deal. And he's a bit of a dick about it, but that's fine. It's the Doctor's up for a bit of gladiatorness. That's fine. He does it again later. It's all good. So that's going on. And then, so he sent Mel off, because he's like, right, okay, we're not getting out of here. I don't think that's going to happen. Bother. Mel, get out of here. I don't want to, Doctor. Just get out of here. Okay, I'm going to take Agley with me. I'm going to skedaddle out of here. And they do that, but then they get captured on the way and get right back in again. So it's not good for them. So they're back in Pompeii. And the time is nearing ever closer. Moranis has knocked the Doctor out. Mel is in prison. So time passes, and then when they're all about sense again, it's like, what time is it? Oh no, it's almost eruption time. That is not a good time. And so earthquakes keep going. I love how no one believes them, just like, because Mel's just frantically, guys, you're all going to die. Like, no, we're not going to die.
One drunk person is like, earthquakes happen all the time. Like,
the gods will save us. They don't hate us or anything.
And when Mel goes, your gods aren't even real, and like everybody's like, yeah, we kind of know that, but we don't want to say
it. Yes. Yes. So, crux of the story is we've reached the point where Vesuvius starts erupting. Moranis is totally having a standoff with the Doctor. The OST is brilliant at this point. I might just add, it's actually beautiful, and that's going on. And Vesuvius is kind of spewing rocks and everything. And there's people kind of running about going to, oh no, destruction. But all the leads are kind of like, no, this is still fine. The gods are angry, but we'll just take shelter. It's fine. And so Mel's kind of figured out that the TARDIS wasn't where it was. It's figured out that the priestess lady got it moved, so she totally goes to have her up on it, and goes to her house, and they have a confrontation. And Mel's like, priestess lady, the volcano is literally killing people right now. It's like, you can't, we don't have time for this. Tell me what the deal is. And the priest is like, no, I'm safe. The gods will protect me. It's all good. And then the gods don't protect her, and she dies.
Yeah, I love that. It's just like, the gods won't let me die, and she immediately dies. They're like, wow, instant karma, anybody? God, I wish I had a smartphone.
Luckily, she managed to have a word with the slave person that they'd met at the start of the story. Kind of, they worked out, or got some information as to where the TARDIS is. So she's trying to work that out while dodging flying rocks and ash, and that's all very well and good. Luckily, said eruption has kind of given the Doctor enough distraction from Moranis to kind of work out an escape plan with the help of the bar lady. Bar lady. We'll call it that for now.
She's a good time.
She is.
Gotcha. She's a good time. So at this point, everyone's kind of running about to try and not die from the eruption, and it's all very well and good. And so they get out, and then the Doctor runs into Popitius Celsinus again to say, that guy, hello, I know you. And the guy's like, where's Mel? And she's like, I sent her out. She totally came back. And the Doctor's like, that's opposite of what I wanted to happen in the situation. Damn it.
And that's pretty much how he delivers it too. He's like, I literally didn't want that.
That is the opposite of
So now he's trying to find Mel, and that's very good. And people are still like, no, it's fine, we can shelter. The Doctor's like, no, you cannot shelter, because pyroclastic flow I love the way Sylvester McCoy says pyroclastic. It's great.
All the way Sylvester McCoy just says things that come out of his mouth.
His words.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, we need to find Mel now. And he finds Mel. It's like, yay. Like, Doctor! Or I felt so, the Bonnie Langford's performance, because she's really getting a bit, Mel's really not having a good time with this, and her relief at finding the Doctor is just so heartfelt. It's like, Bonnie Langford, yes.
They've like really like, Big Finish have a way of giving new life to established characters in a way that I think like not much expanded universe fiction does. And Mel, because like Mel isn't a fan favorite of a character, but I've heard in so many circles that Mel's amazing in Big Finish. And this is her first story, and I'm like immediately like, hell yeah, because I liked her in season 23. I liked her because she felt like a little sister character, and then in season 24 she was just annoying. And Big Finish are like, let's just make her the little sister character again, and then they did, and it's amazing.
Yeah. And so Mel's like, Doctor, we've got some clues to where the TARDIS is. Let's work this out. So they work it out. They get the TARDIS, and Mel's like, okay, so we are going now. I thought you were saying something about we can't do that. And the Doc's like, no, you were right, Mel. Your whole motivation, your gumption to get out of here, it spurred me on. We're going to get out of here. We're going to technically cheat. It's like, how are you going to do that? It's like, well, and then so Vesuvius goes kaboom, and they get out of there. And then the Doctor explains that he, so they go into the TARDIS. They don't actually go anywhere. They just sit in the TARDIS for a bit, let the TARDIS shape just kind of form inside all the ash and rock. Then they skedaddle out of there, and then the Doctor just quickly parks briefly in present day so that it can be found, and then he can pick it up from unit, and it's very well and good. And Mel's like, isn't that cheating? And the Doctor's like, you remember that cool line I said earlier in the story? Callback. And that's the end of the story.
And that is indeed the end. I'm going to grab Harriet Skelly's thoughts, come back for the late crows, and then I'll wrap it up for today. So Harriet Skelly, your thoughts on The Fires of Vulcan?
Well, yeah, it was really good. Basically, it is the better of the Fires of Pompeii. Yeah, really. I mean, obviously, the Fires of Pompeii wasn't awful garbage because Donna was in it. Yeah. But basically, Fires of Vulcan is just significantly better on so many levels. Not only because it's pure historical, but it's also just it has a lot going for it. There's a lot of character stuff. It plays on the actual legitimate like gods of the time, instead of Fires of Pompeii, which had random.
Why did I have the pyrophiles?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, that's just New Who in general. Let's just push that out of the mind. But the Fires of Vulcan has this religious play on it as well. There's this real like subtext when it comes to the god stuff. Kind of like how classic Who in there, you know. Their deals with being Christian, being able to write atheist stuff. But anyway, it's also kind of funny considering that Seven kind of totally kills gods. But anyway,
he is the god killer.
He's the god killer. He's just there, just chilling, and everyone's like, "Oh, God's this, God's that," and he's just like, "Whatever, guys." And like the slave who thinks that they're from the god Isis because it's the pauper's god at the time, at least in Rome, is very interesting, and it just there's so much to unpack with this episode because they actually put some effort into creating it, unlike Who. So it's there's so much of that. Mel is an excellent character now that she's not,
season 24.
She's actually able to be like a character, and have some actual character stuff go on, particularly with like, literally meeting up with a slave girl, who's been sold into a brothel, and like befriending her and effectively teaching her that that's not okay. Being like, no, stop this right now. And she's just like, but I don't know any different. And she's just like, I'm Melanie, and I'm gonna totally rip the shit up.
I'm gonna shake the tree.
I'm gonna shake the shit out of this tree. So I assume that when she leaves with the priest, that they get married and have babies. It's just my headcanon now.
I agree. I thought the same thing. I was like, yep, that's what happened.
They get out, they have babies, they create an entire line of human beings. Eventually one of them comes to England and Mel is born. But anyway...
that would be cool! Oh, that'd be so cool. She's the reason her great-great-great-great-grandparents exist. Oh.
That would be pretty funny. But anyway, just her entire just her character in general was fantastic now, and it's really amazing that she didn't need fixing by Mary Woodhouse to be like that, you know, that she could still be like a bit of a prude and still be entertaining, you know, like the fact that she wasn't okay with like a literal picture of titties on the sign.
She's like, on that sign, is that what I think it is? Like, yep. She's like, oh.
he's allowed to not be okay with that, but still be interesting as a character. So
Yeah.
no, it's kind of a thing. Yeah, there's all of that. It is really pushing the way into Seven. Really, like he's on the cusp of being the Seven that we know and love.
Yeah.
As very clearly, but as really Mel is kind of the starting point of this is her being like, no, I don't accept time as like requiring me to die here, and Seven being like, you know what, actually that's a great idea.
Yeah, he's like,
let's just mess with time. Like, he's like, I didn't know enough about it, so I can totally fix this up. I mean, at the same time, I kind of wish that he'd just like been like, oh, we'll get in the TARDIS and then just like hit the dials a few times so that inside the TARDIS is going quicker than the outside of the TARDIS, so that they just like live until the end, and then once Unit brings them back, he just like opens the doors and is like, hey guys, like,
hey, we've been in stasis this whole time, or like we've been in a slowed down time field.
Yeah, we just had time dilation because I got stuck in Pompeii, so we're all good now.
Yeah, because 5 picking up the TARDIS was a fixed point. That's why 7 was all being sad panda. He's like, damn, it's a fixed point.
Exactly.
Damn it. And then Mel's like, what if the fixed point was just us parking the TARDIS? That is a really good idea. I prefer that. I don't want to die. Because he gets out of the TARDIS and he's like, oh, I'm going to die today. This is dumb.
Yeah, he just like really got the cut of that of being like, oh, so I have to die in Pompeii. Or like, the dialogue that he has for like explaining to Mel his like thought patterns behind this, where he's like, I thought that maybe like at some point in my lives I decided to just retire in Pompeii. I don't know why I would do that, but you know, if knowing future incarnations, it might be possible.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. And it's just like, no, absolutely what would have happened is you got stuck here. And even then, if this had been the case, he could have just like left Pompeii. Mel obviously would have been stuck and had to live out and die her life normally, but Seven could have just lived until the 21st century and picked it back up. Like,
yeah, he actually could have. Turns up,
so
Christopher Eccleston's like, hello. And he was like, who are you? Oh, I'm the Doctor. Like, oh, okay. Well, what the hell? I was like, yeah, no, 2,000 years on Earth. Funny that.
So yeah, it's very much Mel is the real key of the story, and it's actually great. So there you go.
Cool. The Late Crow, your thoughts on the Fires of Vulcan?
Yeah, I gave most of my thoughts when I was doing the synopsis, but it's a really good time. It's just big finish. Just every single monthly one we do, they're all good, but just each one seems to be progressively better.
Yeah, they're really refining their art form.
It is amazingly good. Seven's performance is his best so far. Well, Sylvester's, is his best so far, I reckon. I love the story to pieces. I do love that the Doctor just totally tells the guard at Mel's prison that you're totally sleepy now, and the guy's like,
yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. He fully masters him.
Yeah,
he walks up to him and he's just like, you will obey me. You are getting sleepy. And the guy's like, I am sleepy. And then when what's his name turns up, Papirius, and he's like, obey me. And then Papirius is like, I obey. And I was just like, oh, we are getting season 25, 7. I see.
Yep. 7's coming out.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is who I am.
It's like 7, your 7 is showing.
This is the kind of man that
This is the man I am.
I rather like this manipulating. I might keep doing this.
Manipulating and giving the middle finger to Gallifrey's established laws. I like this. This is what I'm going to do with this incarnation.
Did 7? I don't remember 7 ever facing off with the Master. I think that would actually be great.
Survival.
I think it would be. Yeah, survival. Yeah, but like, okay, I'm talking like
not a zombie master. Yeah, I agree.
Not a zombie. I'm talking like facing off in the Master in like in a battle of wits, and then the Master realizing that 7 just does not like play by the same rules at all. Like,
yeah,
the Master's like, you'll never do this to a human, and then he does it, and he's like, oh shit.
He's like, oh, this is the. Can you, by any chance, find me the one with the checker pants? I want to fight him, please.
Can I find the one with the checker, please?
7 against Derek Jacobi.
Oh, but he can't meet him. That's the thing I hate about the Jacobi Master is he can't meet the Doctor. It's so shit because Russell's like, oh, I didn't even know you got brought back. I'm like, cuzzy, the first thing they would have done is bring him back for the Time War. They're like, oh, we go to war with the Daleks? Bring back everybody. Even that cat, Time Lord.
All right, 7.
Why do we have a cat?
Comics.
Find the monk. Find the monk. We can't find him. You know where he is. Oh, right. He's probably stuck on Earth again.
Hey, monk. Hey, are you the Rufus Hound monk? No. Well, I'm going to have to go to your future. Can you help me now? No. Turns up and it's the bloody monk from the Lucy era. Hey, you. Nope, not Rufus Hound. Hey, help me. My friend's dead. Oh, bye. Oh, man.
Exactly.
Oh, I really wish that whole like we didn't meet each other in war line didn't exist.
Well, the thing is that they could absolutely meet. The thing is, it would have to be a future Doctor coming back, and it would have to be a future.
Oh my god! Did you just say 12 and Jacoby? Did you just say 12 and Jacoby? That's what you just said.
No, it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be 12. Big Finish can now do the new Who stuff as well, but
Yeah.
it has to be one that's been and done that stuff. So when they come back to be there, they can't remember any of it. But also the Master has to do it as well, so he doesn't remember any of it. So
yeah,
that
time
would be-
differentials. So they could have like 2 Masters.
Yeah, 2 Masters and 2 Doctors, and one of them is 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them is Derek Jacobi. Perfect. That's all we need.
Oh, because like Derek Jacobi taking on 7, and 7 would like try to out Jacobi. That'd be so
That'd be
good.
beautiful.
That'd be so. Oh, I want that. There's apparently there's a story where I heard about it at a convention at the Retro Space. By the way, guys, visit Retro Space. They're great. But I was at the Retro Space stall, and there was somebody talking about a Big Finish story with the Master and like sentient dust.
Okay.
And
Do you mean the Vashta Narada?
No. So this, yeah, I suppose, but this like predates them by quite a number of years. But it's apparently 7's the reason Burn Victim Master exists.
That's
And I was just like, that's amazing. So like they're like, yeah, this story's like real scary because like 7 fully takes on the Master and he's the reason he gets all
beats him
burned.
as a burn victim.
And I was just like, oh shit. So I don't know what that is, and I hope it's like
I thought no. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. There was another time where the Doctor totally left the Master get burned.
yeah, that was Planet of Fire where he's
Yeah,
like,
so-
where Ainley's like, you wouldn't let me die. It's Five's like, yeah, actually I would. You possessed my best friend's dad.
freaking acid.
He's like, literally, you're not even the Master anymore. You're just like a consciousness in zombies. That is a fair point. So
Yep.
So this story is fantastic. I really enjoyed the Fires of Vulcan. It didn't dawn on to me until you said it. This is a historical. It does unfortunately have the contemporary segments, but it's almost, I'd say 99% a historical. And
Well, all the historical stuff is completely historical. It's not. There's no aliens.
Yeah.
No
pyrophiles.
pyroviles. No psychic energy. None of that stuff. It's all just historical stuff playing out in historical things. And if you're going to go to Pompeii or you're going to go to an old event, that's how you do it. You just have it be historical because
So
you already know
basically-
it's going to end up bad.
Watch Doctor Who Classic, and when they have to be in a historical event, it just plays out. Like that time, the first Doctor accidentally gave Nero the idea to burn down Rome. So there we go. Guys, this story is one of the 99p range, so it is less than $1. So definitely go ahead and pick up the Fires of Vulcan because they did the unthinkable. They made Mel awesome. We'll catch you guys next week.